At the beginning of the year, I said that cultures was social norms that people shared. It was traditions and holidays and the way that people lived. I said that it had something to do with eating habits and the way that people dressed. I now know that culture is traditions, customs, beliefs, values, and behaviors developed over time by a specific group or community. Social scientists like Malinowski believe that culture is a mixture of material and non-material things. Material things can be things such as objects and tools, and non-material things can include symbols, languages, and beliefs. I thought sustainability was having something last, so a sustainable culture was having a lasting culture. I now know that sustainability is keeping something around or keeping something going, whether that's having rules in place or social norms to do so. In Steinberg's game, Law of the Jungle role-playing, sustainability was illustrated by rules being in place to keep resources around. The assignment that influenced me the most was Reflection 2. This reflection had to do with property lists and owning land. In some ways, individuals owning land can make the land less sustainable by them destroying the resources. It also made me realize that the amount of things you own varies by culture. U.S. culture varies from New Zealand culture in multiple ways. We have different traditions, such as New Zealand having ritual dances that we do not. Our behaviors vary in the way that we dress. Our beliefs differ in that they have women in power, and the U.S. has never had a woman president. In the future, culture will make me realize how similar I am to those I thought I was different. I may think we have nothing in common, but we share the same culture. The idea of sustainability will make me use resources more sparingly so they last. At the start of the year, I started taking a class on culture and sustainability, and I didn't really know what either of those things were. So I wanted to know if any of my friends knew what those things were now. I decided to ask 3 of my friends and hear their responses. What is your idea of culture?
My idea of culture is like what you learn from your family and traditions and stuff you just know from when you were little.
How do you think U.S. culture differs from other places?
I feel like our culture is like all one big thing. Like we all have the same thing. Versus
You want to redo that? 'Cause you said
You can think about it before you
No, I literally have no idea what I'm talking about, Emma.
Okay, so like your idea of culture you said was like family and stuff like that?
Well, no, okay. What I was trying to say is like in the U.S. we like all of our like it's like we're all kind of the same versus other countries like there's like different parts of the country where it's all different. Like you feel what I'm saying?
No, I literally don't. You guys put an example to it, but say it to the camera.
Like a lot of us watch football. We all watch football. In other countries, maybe like I don't know, they watch tennis or soccer or cricket. So, like I don't know, I feel like football is an American thing. And in like Africa, they watch soccer. I was thinking about Africa because there's like a whole bunch of different countries in Africa. Just like there's states in the United States.
So what do they do in Africa besides sports that's different from the U.S.?
They're probably more family oriented.
Hands.
They're probably more family oriented than we are in the U.S. because we're all pretty independent people.
So you think like culture is like family based, but like what else goes into culture?
Your views, like
Okay, so what type of views?
like not political, but like I don't know how you feel about things like your parents could feel some way about something, but then you as an individual person can feel a completely different way and not feel the same way. Shut up.
What's your idea of culture?
My idea of culture is things that you were taught to do, I don't know, like when you're little, you're taught like Christmas is a holiday. No, that's not really culture. Yeah, it is. I don't know.
Is that it? Anything else?
Culture is like, I don't know.
Just holidays?
No, I mean it's more, but I don't want to turn it into like a race thing. It's not a race thing. Culture's not a race thing.
I mean, you can have different cultures by race.
Yeah.
Okay, so explain what you think your own culture is.
Well, I look white, but because I'm Mexican, our culture is like, we eat a lot of spicy foods, and I don't know.
What else?
We do things differently.
Like?
Like, on birthdays, it's tradition to, like, your dad smashes your head into your cake.
What's your idea of sustainability?
Well, sustainability is like, we put, I don't know, in the US we put like rules on stuff. Wait, I'm not allowed to swear, am I?
No. What do we put rules on that you say it's sustainable?
Like, we put rules on what we're allowed to do. We put rules on, like, for guns, you gotta own a permit. Otherwise, you're in trouble and you're gonna
Why?
go to jail.
Why does that rule make it sustainable?
Because otherwise, people would run around with guns and just kill people for no reason.
So what
Like-
about that is sustainable?
I don't know! It would help if I knew more what sustainable means.
Okay, how does U.S. culture compare to Africa?
Here, we're wealthier, so, like, for your birthday and for Christmas, if for kids and stuff, you just automatically get a present or something. And in Africa, no.
Is there any differences that you think between Africa and the U.S.?
Are there any differences?
Like anything else culture-wise between Africa and U.S.?
I mean, they have I feel like they probably have, like, a lot more, like, things that they do. I don't know. Like, they celebrate stuff more, like, they celebrate life more, like, they're more appreciative of life than we are.
Okay, what is your idea of culture?
Culture can be different for many people. I think it just depends on what your culture's like, and you look at it differently from each family. Different areas can have different cultures, like traditions, things like that. Yeah.
So how would you describe your own culture then?
My own culture, the only thing I can really say about my own culture is it's normal because it's mine, and I think that's the same for every single person because they look at their own culture as the norm, and then you look at other people's cultures, and for you it's different, a different outlook on it, or a different thing.
What's your idea of sustainability?
I kind of want to say no comment, but I'm gonna have to say something. I'd say sustainability and like a culture-wise would be continuing to do what you do. Like when you become older, and if you have your own kids and a wife or a family or whatnot, you continue that culture and you're kind of sustaining it through your life.
How would you compare U.S. culture to somewhere else?
I say the difference in culture is we have different traditions and just, like I said, different norms, and we look at things differently in general.
So compare it to somewhere else.
I can only think Africa's different because Danielle said
Okay.
Africa so much.
Okay. How do you think U.S. is different from Africa culture-wise?
No, I don't want to go off Africa. She already said Africa.
Okay, pick somewhere new.
She said all he can think of is Africa.
The only one I can think of is like Britain because I have a British
Okay.
teacher and I just ask him all the questions about Britain. They just have like some holidays are different. Kind of like their education is very different. It's set up completely different, and one of the main things that I think America is slacking in now that Britain and other places like Germany excel at is just their education in general and how kids should, it's, normal for them to do all their work and do it when they need to have it done. Can I get out of this?
Yeah.